Benthic algae is a type of cyanobacteria, so that is a type of toxic algae that grows at the bottom of a body of water, so attached to the sand or dirt underneath, and it can potentially produce toxins that can make humans and animals very sick. I'm Maggie Palamaki. I'm an environmental health specialist with the Recreational Water Safety Team of Clark County Public Health, and today we are here at Cottonwood Beach to discuss benthic algae mats. Clark County residents might be familiar with harmful algae blooms, which we have been monitoring in Clark County since 2007. Those are the typically bright green, paint-like blooms that we see on the surface of the water. Benthic algae blooms are different, so they do not collect on the surface in those kinds of blooms. They actually grow in mats at the bottom of a body of water. So because they grow on the bottom of a body of water attached to the surface, we can see them in fast-moving and slow-moving waters, whereas the algae blooms that we've been monitoring for a long time typically only exist in slow-moving, stagnant waters. Clark County first learned that we had benthic algae in our waterways in fall of 2024 when we received a call from someone saying that their dog had died after recreating on the Columbia River. So we were able to get some samples from that animal and collect some samples from the area that they were at on the Columbia River and found high levels of toxins in those samples. So we've identified a spot on Cottonwood Beach where there's some standing water. It was connected to the river, but with the low tide, it's been now isolated. And there's some possible benthic mats in the water. So we're gonna grab a sample of one and then take it back to our office to see what we find in the microscope. Okay. So we've got that sample now. I'm just gonna label the container. The location, our date, and the time. And now we'll take it back and look at it at the microscope. Benthic algae has been found in many areas of Clark County, primarily along the Columbia River. So that includes Cottonwood Beach, Marine Park, Wintler Park. But that does not mean it doesn't exist in other bodies of water. It just means we haven't found it there yet. To protect yourself from benthic algae mats, the first thing you should do is learn how to identify it. The second thing you should do is avoid it. So to identify it, you should be looking at felt-like material or leather-like mats that grow in the water or sometimes float up to the surface. They're typically an olive drab kind of green color or sometimes a brown color. That's the kind that we're seeing here in Clark County. So if you see those kinds of mats, avoid them. The people that should be most concerned about benthic algae as far as their exposure would be young children and animals, since they have the most hand-to-mouth action, so children can potentially pick it up, put it in their mouth. Dogs have a tendency to lick it or eat it, so those should be the most careful when it comes to benthic algae. If you think you've come in contact with potentially toxic benthic algae, the first thing you should do is contact a physician, or if you believe it's an animal that came in contact with it, contact a veterinarian. They can help in case you are showing symptoms, so they can help with that treatment. The next thing you should do after you've cleared that up is to contact your local health department so that they can investigate it.
When in doubt, stay out. For more information, please visit clark.wa.gov /public-health/public-beaches.